gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. Guys, today we're talking about Tron. We're talking about Uniswap crossing a major milestone. Talking about the IMF kind of warming up to crypto. We're talking about Litecoin being warned against by certain territories, as well as more Tether FUD, but maybe more believable than ever before. And also talking a little bit about, well, yeah, Litecoin being a warning. There being a warning cry against Litecoin. I didn't think I'd see the day, but thank you for smashing that like, sharing the live stream while we are live. And whoa, welcome back to the channel. We had a little black flash there. Alexander is in the chat. Says, what the flux is going on? There you go. Proof of live stream. Your comments are coming through to me. Let me go ahead and move this over a little bit. I don't have my auto-centering camera feature turned on right now. We're going to do away with that. Guys, you can see the entire, right? You see the entire lineup of today's news articles off to my right, your left. And we're going to go through some of our markets as well as our portfolio, as we do during the Mind Your Biz live stream. My name is Seth. You're watching Mind Your Biz, and today we're gonna go top to bottom, 360 degrees in the mining and the broader cryptocurrency markets. Do be sure that you're subscribed. If you're just lurking right now, I do see a lot of people based on my analytics, a lot of people watch the live stream who are not subscribed. It would mean a lot to me if you do subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it helps YouTube know that this is content that helps other people, what they might be interested in watching. So your clicks, they all count. All right, guys, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for clicking the bell icon. Thank you for sharing the link. Let's jump straight into it. Fear and Greed Index is currently at a score of 12. Yesterday, it was a score of 10. Prior to that, last week, score of 8. We're actually moving up just a tiny bit based on the averages for that score. Does that really mean that we are away from massive fear in these markets? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and we're going to go over the Bitcoin chart in just a second here, because I think that's one of the biggest indicators of what the sentiment will be in the near to midterm future for this little index here. I think it is kind of a downward spiral because of all of the sort of global factors of economic uncertainty, of there being political unrest in so many different areas of the world. It's a crazy, crazy time. Alexander says, nice intro. My ears enjoyed it. Stereo bliss. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. It took me a while to get the right track, and then I did edit that down to just debut the drop and kind of be really pleasant as we start off the live stream. So thanks for the feedback, man. I really appreciate that you're saying that, because it did take me some time to find the right piece. Well, what I felt was the right piece of music for the Mind Your Biz live stream. Let me jump back out of the way here, though, guys. That's the current score is 12. But what does that mean? It means people are fearful, usually a counter indicator, but when we're moving sideways for too long, it doesn't really indicate much at all, right? It just describes more of the same. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart to see what that indicates. I'm just using the free tools available at tradingview.com, not using any fancy indicators, not paying for any special information here. I'm just using some of the basics. Gandalf Gray's in the chat saying, hit that like, boys. Appreciate that. And hey, I will say, that is advice. Do hit that like. Is it financial or investing advice? You must be new here, friend. We don't do that on this channel. Thanks for playing, though. That's part of the game. I have to do that, as you know. I'm not trying to get anybody involved in any kind of securities. I'm not trying to solicit securities or solicit your investment into anything. So I do wind up having to do that because that's just that's the world we live in, right? You actually have to tell people that they're responsible for their own financial decisions. You guys, you're all grown up enough that you know that, and I trust you to know that, but I wind up having to run that red screen here anyway. But this is our chart, guys. The chopsticks don't lie. Our patent pending chopstick indicator apparently is still doing quite well. Quite well indeed. In fact, if we move to a log right there, it looks like we're right on track, though I did, kind of cheated by going into a logarithmic view. of the chart here. I can take that off of log view because we haven't been using a logarithmic representation of the Bitcoin to USD chart over the last several months that we've been following this, but it does look like we're kind of just performing back into that channel that we thought we would. In fact, the little breakout to the downside kind of took us outside of what we thought we would be doing by way of sort of downward performance, and it looks like we're still kind of on track to see that $25,000 Bitcoin or that $20,000 Bitcoin that people who are interested in buying, right, in accumulation desperately want to see. That could happen. I mean, yeah, that could happen. It's as good. It stands as good a chance of going to $25,000 or $20,000 as it does going back up. It really does. Like, I know it's kind of our joke in this space, right? What's Bitcoin's price going to do? It's either going to go up or go down. Whoa, genius. Well, I think right now it's been pretty obvious that it has been on a downward trend for a while. And if anything, this market has been seeking bottom support for a while, but whale manipulation and all kinds of institutional manipulation have propped prices back up in order for crazy people like Saylor to go and buy the Pico top, buy the top again, over and over again, and all the Bitcoin maxis to go and buy the top. There's been some insanity there, but they're not in a good position now. I don't know. It could be that there's no capital left to flow into Bitcoin in that way, so that these whales maybe cannot protect themselves in the way that they were protecting themselves this time last year. You know, I don't understand these markets well enough to be able to say that with great confidence, but yeah, I do think it's going to go much lower. I think the chopstick indicator that we've been using, just that joke, right? Our chopsticks, that they've been spot on for a while. This has been pretty decent. Just saying, okay, these are basic confidence bounds. We're not using advanced TA. We're not trying to say that. It definitely has to go to this Fibonacci retracement level before it does this other thing. Like, that's cool and all. You can say that and all. And it's meant, I mean, I know that there's a place for TA, but I mean, check that chart out. Like, you do your TA on the 2-hour chart on the 1 week, and you use your other indicators. We're just looking at the 1-day chart here. We're keeping it really, really, really simple so that a guy like me can understand it, and we can talk about it, what Bitcoin did when we check in on our live streams. Alex says, I think it will go lower, 20K before it hits 40K. I think you're right. I really do. I think you're right. That's why I put the chopsticks where I put them. And Gandalf Gray says, if Bitcoin hits 20K, I'm going to back up the truck. Maybe I'm crazy, but so was Einstein when he brought upon modern physics. Hey, could be, right? Like, yeah, guys, we live in a crazy world. That's the thing, right? So expect the unexpected. Expect something a little bit crazy. That's the new normal these days, it seems. But I'm going to leave these chopsticks exactly where we left them for many, many days now. I think this is the range that I feel comfortable saying we're going to move. The channel we're going to move in. But also, let's jump back and take a look at this larger green range. I've been calling this the acceptable DCA range. Let's scroll over so you can kind of see, with the bottom being somewhere between, I think we left it at 12.5K. Between 12.5 and 14K, I think, is if we do wind up really bottoming out and seeking that really low bottom support, I think that is the worst case scenario. You got people saying 10 or 11K. You got Richard Hart saying, yeah, it's going to go to 10K. Of course, he is walking that back and saying, no, Bitcoin will never go to zero. It's not like a lost cause or anything. So the truth is coming out there, right? I believe in the mission and vision of Bitcoin. I do think that it has a bright future ahead of it. And I do think that it is permissionless and that it has some things going for it that no other blockchain does. That said, can it really can it really find a new, very low bottom support? Yeah, it can. It's lost 85% of its value upon every previous bull market or halving cycle run. So it's entirely possible it's going to do so this time as well. In my mind, I think that that's going to look a little bit different. So somewhere between 12.5, 14K is where I'm comfortable putting this little range here. And DCAing, I mean, if it does dip all the way down to like $11,000 or $10,000, cool. Good for you. If you got some spare change lying around, you want to go pick up some more Bitcoin at that price, good on you. That's great. But I'm not going to like make that a business plan or anything. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to be $10,000. Okay, good luck with that, right? Like I'm not going to wait for those to be the only conditions under which I'll buy Bitcoin. So this is kind of the range I'm feeling more comfortable. I think it would be fine to DCA into Bitcoin now on the way down, because when it does return back to strength, I think people who buy in this range, DCA in this range, could be very happy with the returns they make. Are they going to 10x their money? Man, I don't know. right? Not unless you buy the bottom, right? If it does go to 10K, not unless you buy the bottom, will you definitely 10x your money, just as was true the last bull run, right? When it went from its bottom support and then ran all the way up. It wasn't true that most people 10x their Bitcoin their fiat holdings by having Bitcoin. So I don't know that we can count on that, and I don't know that I'm interested in calling that the primary use case of Bitcoin. There are other vehicles that are great for 10xing the portfolio, lots of new projects launching, and that's why we're so interested in covering so many projects on the Mind Your Biz channel, right? Including speculative mining of various GPU, FPGA, CPU, and ASIC mineable coins. It's a great way to get exposure to all those kinds of coins and then realize all that possible, that potential upside. So anyway, I'm rambling a little bit there. This is the Bitcoin chart. Don't see a need to change it. Our yellow range has decreased, though. I am saying that anything above 35K is risky at this point in terms of a DCA, because we are looking at potentially so much further down. If we did somehow by an act of God spike way up, right? Like some massive financial hurricane blew through and just blew the price, boom, up into the sky. A little Sharknado, Bitcoin NATO, blew it up into the sky, boom, past that range. I'd say, I don't know if I want to buy here. Like, I'm not sure. Yellow, depending on your risk tolerance, yellow either means go faster or it means slow down, right? So that for me means slow down. I would kind of take it a little more cautiously there. You tell me what you think in the comments, though, guys. What are you thinking for Bitcoin? I already heard from some commenters, right? So Alexander saying, I think it will go lower, 20K before it hits 40K. You tell me what you think in the comment section, guys. I'm waiting to hear from you. We'll talk about that again very, very soon. On our next live stream. We'll check back in on that. But in the news cycle, we got TRON. TRON DeFi surges on Terra-inspired stablecoin launch. So let me get this straight. Somebody thought that the Terra USD idea was so great that they wanted to copy it over on TRON? And that announcement is making TRON pump. This is kind of crazy. I think it's crazy, personally. I don't know. I don't know how you convince yourself that Terra USD was a good idea, and I don't know how you convince yourself that it would be an even better idea to move Terra USD over to Tron. Right? Am I alone here? Is this a little bit crazy? Because I'm not following the logic. I don't understand how anybody's looking at this and saying that's not just one good idea, it's two good ideas. Combine them, it's like a mega good idea. It's like it's greater than the sum of its parts. No, I don't get it at all. Like, please set me straight, guys. If I'm the one who's crazy here, just please tell me. Please just gut check me here, right? Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why anybody thinks that's an okay thing. So, CryptoCat's saying, loving the content, reckon it will go lower. Kind of hoping. Yeah, right? I hope so too. Cheap Bitcoin is great. If you like Bitcoin when it's pumping, you gotta love it when it's down on sale, right? Gordon Murray's in the chat as well, says, if Bitcoin goes below 10K, I'm all in. Bro, right? That's when if you have shares, you don't have enough Bitcoin. Yeah, the Bitcoin maxis are right. When it's on sale, right? If Bitcoin's on sale, hide your wife, hide your kids, or maybe just sell them, right? You can get new ones when Bitcoin pumps again. It's not rocket science. Just replace them. It's okay. I won't tell on you. It's a pinky pact, all right? Just get new ones. All right, guys, jokes. I'm not going to... Geez, did I run the disclaimer already? I ran the disclaimer. This is not legal, financial, investing, or family advice. Just please don't tell my wife. All right. So jumping back out of the way, guys. This news cycle, I don't know what's going on with this. Who thought this was a great idea? Clearly, Justin Sun did, right? He actually did announce this on Twitter. Said, you know what? I think a stable coin over on Tron would make sense. We've got Tether on Tron, and there are some people who love Tether on Tron. I don't know why Terra USD was the thing they really, really wanted to go after, but apparently now, because they got all this TVL, which again, even that is a bit of a... It's a bit of a crazy thing to remember. If you remember the launch of Tron, the Tron blockchain, which I do, then it's all this money came in, billions of dollars of money came in, which probably was self-funded by Justin and maybe a couple of members of his family, his own little personal financial dynasty. And yeah, one of those things where it's decentralized in name only. Clearly, they've got a closed validator set. It's not decentralized at all. It's a very, very centralized chain with all of this value locked, which is really just his own fiat holdings, which was very likely just duplicated by the price of the coins after, I mean, it's manipulation on top of manipulation on top of centralization. So I don't understand that. If you were not around for that whole launch, then do some reading on Tron. Yes, it's fast, but guess what? So is AWS. So is Microsoft Azure. So is Google Cloud. Like, there are all kinds of really, really fast cloud providers. You don't need a blockchain for that. You just kind of need to understand some modern cloud development stacks, and you can probably do something even faster, right, than a blockchain. Blockchains are for paranoid people who need decentralization so that they can have censorship resistance and permissionless use. So I don't know. I don't know why anybody still thinks that Tron is an okay idea at all. But yeah, so he thinks this is great. They had a bunch of Tether on it, and now they want to create a fork copy of Terra, but they haven't talked about anything that will at all prevent this, a $40 billion death spiral. So yeah, there you go. Gobbles the 13th Goblin says, I joined on Mind Your Biz rant time. Haha, LOL. Heyo. Bruh, I'm here all hour. Actually, I need to cut it to an hour, guys, today. Keep it to an hour, rather. So I'm going to try not to do too much. It'll be too much ranting if I go the full hour, full rants. We got some stuff to cover as well. I don't understand Justin Sun. I don't understand Tron. If I had the opportunity to interview Justin Sun, would you guys want to see it? Would you? Would you tune into a live interview of me and Justin Sun? What kind of stuff would I ask him? What kind of stuff would you want me to ask him? Just curious. I know some people who've been asked by his team lately if they would. On that note, I do need to let you, it's totally not related to any of this stuff right here. Right there you go. There's Tron up there. Not related to any of this stuff, but apparently the PR team for NiceHash has asked me to interview their leadership. Do you want to see that? I mean, I'm a little bit surprised by that, but I wanted to ask you guys. Let me know in the comments section if you want to see me interview the leadership team from NiceHash. It didn't seem like a likely thing to me, but apparently they wanted to see it. So, yeah. So if you want to see me interview Justin Sun, let me know. I'll push to see if maybe that can happen. And if you want to see me interview the leadership team of NiceHash, let me know. That wasn't on my radar. They reached out to me. They were like, hey, Seth, we're big fans. So I guess that's a possibility. That's a thing. So you tell me, guys. This is in service of what you want, not just what I feel comfortable doing. I'll get out of my comfort zone if you need it. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. They're calling it USDD, which is like, dude, US double dump, right? US double death spiral. Right? I can't see any possible upside to this risk-free yield. Promises 30% risk-free. Guys, this is just going to crash that much more. It's going to be that much worse. How? How is this possible? Bojan is in the chat, says, hello, King. Right back at you, Bojan. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's all we do, guys. All we do is like attracting like. We got this community full of kings and queens. It's like 3 women. So kings and queens. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So yeah. Wow. Yeah. Total value locked has boosted for Tron. So this is one of those things where TVL, guys, we talked about it on the show before. When we go over DeFi Llama, when we talk about some of the ways to evaluate different DeFi systems, TVL is one small data point, and clearly it's very easy to manipulate, as we saw with Terra, right? Like, that got manipulated so fast, as it was literally a money printing machine. Buy Terra, make UST. Sell Terra, print more. Sell UST, print more Terra. Right? It was a literal Ponzi. Like, it kept on growing and growing and growing from zero value until you had tens of billions of dollars of UST, and then you had Luna with tens of billions of dollars market valuation based on TV. It got crazy, right? We saw that, and we can go back to DeFi Llama. I might actually add that to our lineup today just to be sure that we don't miss out on the current correction, because we haven't taken a look at it since the death spiral of UST. I think it's worth taking a look at today. In fact, you know what? Let's take a little detour, boys and girls. Let's go there right now. This is the current chain outlook. Ethereum, 71% dominant. The death spiral of Terra, totally corrected this market. You see right there? Giant implosion. Once we hit the event horizon of that death spiral, whoop, it sucked it in like a black hole all the way up to the point where we're at right now with 64%. I looked at the wrong number there. 71%, $71 billion of TVL, but Ethereum popping back up over the 60% mark, right? Very handily. It was nearing 40 or 53% of the total value locked across all DeFi platforms, and now it's almost back at 65%. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see that happen. But most telling is over here in Cosmos, right? Where Terra took up the majority, like the lion's share. It was like 90% dominant for all of DeFi, according to Cosmos and IBC chains. Now it's Kava, right? And Kava is less than $1 billion TVL. And then Osmosis with less than $500 million of TVL as of the time of recording right now, as the time of broadcast. It's crazy. Gobbles, the 13th Goblin, corrects me. I do stand corrected here. Says kings, queens, and goblins. It fits. It fits. I can't deny a man his rite of passage going full goblin mode. Do it. All right, so guys, back in TVL and here the Terra, it's cut down to only 150 million. How does it even have a market value at all, guys? It leads me to, like, I can only surmise one thing. When I look at these different markets, especially with stuff like Terra and now with Tron, it makes me think, you know what, Seth? You got in the wrong business. You've been talking about this stuff. Why don't you go just like form a completely junk coin from scratch, launch your own network, especially now you've got Avalanche subnets, you got Polygon supernets, launch your own app specific chain and do airdrops on like crypto Twitter and on YouTube. Run giveaways and go get like a sports team to think you're cool, right? Give a Lamborghini away, pretend to give a Lamborghini or a Tesla away, and just go make one of these projects, and you will become an overnight multimillionaire, possibly a billionaire in less than a year, right? Doesn't that make you think the same thing? It's like, man, if only my morals didn't cost me so much. It's a crazy thing to contemplate, right? You look at these markets. I'm not actually thinking this, guys. These are the jokes. But you look at these markets and it's like, dude, this is a failed project that is currently valued at $150 million of total value locked. How did we get here? What? How? Who let this happen? We did. We let it happen. Gordon Murray says, get Matt Damon. I don't know, man. Matt Damon is kind of the harbinger of, like, he's the Pico top signal. It all went very downhill very fast after Matt Damon. So maybe I'll get his buddy. What's his corn? Batman? Yeah, Batman. Let's just get Batman to do it. Batman, come promote our coin. Anyway. So, we'll call it the Batarang, where it's like what price must come up and then poof, come back down and hit you in the face. Sharp little spiky corner. So, yeah, Terra, still 29 protocols on Terra. Let's take a look at this, guys. Let's just do a little bit of an investigation here. Anchor Protocol, it's still around. And obviously, it's trapped Avalanche in a bit of the death spiral as well. Risk Harbor. Oh my gosh. That's the perfect name for that. Good job, guys. All of these in 1 month. Look at that. Oh, look at them all. Just sucked into the vortex, into the maelstrom. 100% down by Lido. 100% down by Prism. 100% down by Stater. 100% down by Mirror. 99.98% down. See ya, Angel and Stake. Wouldn't want to be ya, but how do you have any value left? How is this possible? What's left standing? Anchor Protocol at just shy of 100 million. That's where the lion's share comes from there. Risk Harbor still with over 10 million. I mean, the risk of rug for these projects now is pretty low, right? Like the optics are really bad. There's a lot of eyes focused on these projects. So the risk of rug at this point, fairly low. I know that's why there's a lot of speculative investors and a lot of speculative traders going in now and saying, well, this stuff is on fire sale, right? 98% off. It can't get any worse, right? Except that it did with Luna, right? It went 95% off, 98% off, and then in a day following that went another 98% down. Like you can cut through to infinity on your way to zero, right? Thankfully, with some of these coin values, you can't go negative, right? But as you know, right, if you understand mathematics, you can If you go from 1 trying to go to 0, you can cut 1 98% down, and then that becomes your new 1, right? Boom. You can cut that 98% down. That becomes your new value of 1, right? And you can cut that 98% down. Ad infinitum. Like it never stops. Just keep adding zeros. So, and unfortunately with cryptocurrencies, right, we have that kind of atomicity, right? So you have the atomic unit of Bitcoin being 8 zeros after the decimal point. With some of these others, like Ethereum, it's 18 zeros, right? That's a lot of zeros behind the decimal point that you can keep on tumbling down and down and down and down. So yeah, this is crazy, guys. Crazy. So yeah, to take this and be like, you know what? Anchor Protocol, it's only 99.39% down. What the heck? Let's go put it on Tron. You know, for kicks. We got money lying around. They were offering 20% yield, and they died a horrible flaming death. What if we offer 30% yield? That would fix it, right? We just need more incentive, right? We just need to print more gains from nothing, right? Like, unless they've got some kind of a gain fund, right? Some kind of a benefits fund, I don't see how they're going to make this work. Anyway, I'm rambling on now about this new project, but I just don't get how this is going to work. Guys, if you want to see me interview Justin Sun, by all means, tag us both on Twitter, and let's see if we can make that happen. I just think it's interesting. Currently, the DEX protocol Uniswap, or the massive protocol, the DeFi protocol Uniswap, has hit $1 trillion in total trading volume. I'd say this is a pretty mature thing now. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think? It's consistently done over $1 billion daily on a fairly consistent basis. $1 trillion? $1 trillion. It's a whole lot. I mean, it's not as much as we trade in other equities and in other commodities, but I think it's a huge milestone. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited you guys are here with me along this journey. And it doesn't matter if you're a proof of work maxi or if you're a proof of stake maxi. You will interact with these protocols. This is born on Ethereum. It's hopefully not going to die on Ethereum. Hopefully it continues to scale out to other L1 EVM chains and scale out to the Beacon Chain merge and be a main fixture inside of Ethereum for a long time. But Uniswap, just as a protocol, I mean, it's really robust. It's on every other L1 chain. Avalanche has a version of it, of course. Binance Smart Chain has their version of it, and PancakeSwap, and every other DEX and aggregator like 1inch and Matcha. They all use the Uniswap protocol in order to source the liquidity for each side of the trade. So it's pretty amazing that it's doing that, and I don't know. I don't know if that goes across all the different chains. I think it is literally just. No, I think they are kind of counting every single chain. It's amazing though, guys. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Love that they're looking at expansion. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit. I'll come back to that. But guys, next news article talking about the IMF. The IMF is apparently flip-flopping on its cryptocurrency stance. I don't know how this happened, but yeah, the IMF says don't leave crypto, right? So They said, I would beg you not to pull out of the importance of this world. It offers us all faster service, much lower costs, and more inclusion, but only if we separate apples from oranges and bananas. So this is Kristalina Georgieva. So apparently there are some champions of cryptocurrency at the IMF. It's not all doom and gloom coming from the IMF. I have my doubts. I do have my concerns. The IMF has also really done a lot of saber rattling towards countries that have gone towards Bitcoin as legal tender and removed themselves from foreign aid from the United States, the toxic lending, and a bit of the economic hitman activity that the United States is known for, right? For longer than the lifetime of most of us in this live stream, the United States has been involved in toxic loans that help curry favor, right? That help to force favors throughout the world. And when countries like El Salvador have said, no, we really want to just use Bitcoin now, the IMF has said, we don't like that. You gotta have both, right? You gotta stick with the dollar. And if you want Bitcoin, I guess, maybe you can have some, but don't make it legal tender. That's bad. That screws up what we want to do. We won't give you aid. We might pull our aid as well. So this is unexpected, to say the least. Unexpected to see that there are some champions of cryptocurrency at the IMF. You tell me what you think in the comments, though, guys. What do you think the IMF is up to here? Because I'm sure that I don't know. But you tell me your thoughts. Tether, new FUD, over $10 billion pulled from USDT as the stablecoin crisis continues. So apparently $10 billion of the market cap has dropped from Tether. I've got some concerns about the commercial paper holdings, not only of Tether, but also of the Center, right? Spelled CENTRE, the organization that is a joint venture between Coinbase and between Circle Crypto and some other entities that back the value of USD coin or USDC. A lot of us use it. A lot of us say we trust it. A lot of other groups and decentralized projects use USDC as backing, including DAI, which I'm kind of a fan of. But I'm worried about the so-called paper, commercial paper. They say it's commercial paper that's backing a lot of these currencies. When you look at tens of billions of dollars, it's really hard to hold that amount of cash. And if you did, where would you put it? Who would custody it for you? How would you insure it? Could you insure it? Could you split it up meaningfully to have any kind of insurance? Or does a system of circulating debt have to build upon itself to a larger scale for you to say you have that amount of money? Well, it looks like Tether is... Well, they're right-sizing their commercial paper holdings. They say that they're getting better sources of commercial paper or better types of debt, essentially, we could just say. But I just don't think that's quite good enough. Let me scoot this over, guys. I'm actually kind of feeling like I'm having to... there we go. I'm going to scoot a little too far out of my way to actually be in the correct framing there. But I'm worried a little bit about the sources of commercial paper that both Tether and USDC are backed by. You tell me what you think in the comments, guys. Are you familiar with commercial paper? The various types of commercial paper? Do you know what it means for something that claims to be $1 to be backed by commercial paper? Because this is kind of like... All right, it's just turtles all the way down to the ground, right? Like all of it. The code is all turtles all the way down to the ground. The money is all turtles all the way down to the ground. Politics is all turtles all the way down to the ground. Society is all turtles all the way down to the ground. And we're all trying to get these turtles to cross over to each other to say like, no, this is important. The politicians need to control the money and society needs to be in control of politics. It's starting to feel a little shaky. I'm just saying. ABMNS Productions says, hello, beautiful people. Well, hello, beautiful audience member. ABMNS Productions is another one of the real ones, always giving great feedback on the comments. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being here, spending some time with us while we are live. But Tether, guys, what do you think about that and the backing of commercial paper? I'm sure that I really don't know how I feel about it. It has me definitely worried for sure. But you can tell me what you think. There's a South Korean crypto exchange that is issuing an investment warning after the Litecoin MWeb update. I know. Y'all thought I was going to talk about the MWeb update just as it is for its technical merit and talk about how, look, Mimblewimble privacy is coming to a Litecoin. Litecoin is now more private than Bitcoin. I'm not going to do that. First off, most implementations of Mimblewimble, including Grin, have been proven to be inferior to other types of privacy, even though on paper it's supposed to be better. It's like the initial arguments of ZK Snarks versus, say, Monero, right? Where it's kind of like, on paper it looks good. It's mathematically, provably, cryptographically secure. It's supposed to work this way. You sever all of the previous transaction history from UTXOs when you do things this way. But I've got some concerns because Grin proved not to be private, and Mimblewimble coin failed miserably, and many other implementations of Mimblewimble were just not good enough to capture market attention. There wasn't enough value in those coins for their privacy implementation to matter. And I worry a little bit about Litecoin being the first one to do that at scale, right? So, but let's just see. Upbit and Bitsum. It's actually called Bitsum. So kind of the, and no, I'm not being weird. That's actually how South Korean folks themselves pronounce Bithum. It's like, think of it as Bithumb, but Bitsum. Anyway, so comes just 2 days after privacy opt-ins were activated on the Litecoin blockchain. Growing concerns. Upbit revealed terminating transaction support for digital assets with technology that makes transmission records indistinguishable from the past. So what they're saying is, they get to have privacy on their ledger. you don't get to have privacy on yours. This is the problem with when privacy technology actually works. Zcash has been delisted from some exchanges in the past because of this. Monero has been delisted by many, many exchanges, or not ever listed to begin with, just because of the privacy, because it's private by default, right? And it's been proven quite private with the way that it implements privacy. Now you got these exchanges saying, well, Litecoin, if you even pretend to have privacy, we can't have that. If it's conditional privacy, we can't have that. Alexander says, I use LTC quite often. It's apparently very good, right? High speed, low fees, plenty of value in the network right now. Probably not the highest transaction volume of any coin in the network right now. Backed by proof of work with a great sovereign chain. A lot in common with Doge. Oh, wait, right, because Doge is Litecoin. Right? Like Doge is a full copy of Litecoin. It does have me a little bit concerned, though, in that if Doge just decides, like, you know what? That MWeb update looks pretty good. Just pull that into our code base. Done. We have privacy now, too. Plus, we got a cool Shiba Inu as our mascot, right? Like, cute, fluffy dog is the logo. And privacy now, too. I don't know if Dogecoin's going to go that route. It'd be super cool if it did. But apparently, if it did, you'd have problems with organizations like, say, Robinhood, that has now built a lot of the value locked into its coffers onto the crypto side based on Dogecoin trading. In fact, I think I've got to check this to be sure. I think that there have been more gains made by Robinhood based on Dogecoin trading than on Bitcoin trading because of all the crazy volatility of last year after the AMC and GME stocks ran up, right, or the year before. So you got kind of this weird ecosystem, right, of Litecoin looking really good, maybe, sort of. Not really, kind of on paper, based on the MWeb extension. Don't get me wrong, Litecoin was doing great on its own, but the MWeb extension, I don't know, is necessarily going to be as private as they say, right? The Mimblewimble upgrade. But now you got this problem, right? So, yeah. It is believed that the Mimblewimble upgrade has been carried out with a selection function that does not expose transaction information. Upbit added the item of transparency of network operators to the transaction support checklist. And yeah, they're pretty much just saying you can't go through this upgrade. They have to stick with the main chain only. Distinction between MWeb powered Litecoin and privacy coins is the existence of a separate chain for private transactions. So yeah, guys, I just don't know that this is kind of why you saw me move so much away from a lot of the capital P privacy coins into privacy preserving platforms that run on top of other major high market cap cryptos. So your Samurai wallets for Bitcoin, your Tornado Cashes for Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain and Polygon and Avalanche and Phantom and Arbitrum and Optimism and every EVM style chain. I've started to move that direction, guys, because we have this problem here. The moment you say, oh yeah, we're a privacy chain, or we have, conditional privacy for our cryptocurrency, you start to get the regulators getting a little bit too, trigger happy, saying, nope, can't have privacy, or we're going to delist you. Not going to be good. You won't like it. Consequences. All right. But you tell me, are you a fan of Litecoin? Are you a fan of the new MWeb Mimblewimble option to make your Litecoin private? Are you concerned about this? And what if I told you that if there are no actual delistings of Litecoin, then MWeb is not actually working the way you think? Because that's my prediction. My prediction is that there will not be massive delistings of Litecoin there because Mimblewimble is not as production ready as most people believe it is. All right, that's my take on it, guys. GPU mining profitability is in the dumps. What I will say is I wanted to prepare something for today's live stream based on the current profitability of these GPUs. Shout out to Brandon Coin, who did a quick review of the RTX 3070 Ti, claiming that current daily profit is about $2 every single day. He might have been referring to just the revenue currently on the 3070 Ti, or perhaps the optimized revenue on the 3070 Ti being close to $2. Current profit, though, if you're anywhere close to the 14 cent per kilowatt hour mark, is vastly lower. So I've been saying this for a while, been kind of warning for a while that we were moving towards these lower profits, and here we are. Top of the line though, RTX 3090 Ti. I can't seem to find any for sale. That's a bummer. It's a much newer card, right? It's a bummer. But I do need an office upgrade, and I've been talking about it for a while. Guys, it might actually be time to buy. We'll take a look at that in just a second here. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to bring up a couple of eBay listings. But the RTX 3090, that seems high performance enough for me. I've definitely got enough power in my current workstation, 1600 watts PSU, so I can definitely power one or two of these RTX 3090s. Not worried about that one bit, but the profits are not so great, right? $1.70, and that I think has led to a lot of potential listings. Searching just for the 3090 Ti on eBay yields this result, right? So parts only, you're going to look at under $1,000, but close to that $1,000 mark. And that is, of course, the 3090, not the 3090 Ti. Again, you're not finding many 3090 Ti's for sale. But you are seeing some of these that are, pre-owned and no other problems that you can see for about $1,500. This was not the case even just a few weeks ago, right? A few weeks ago, we were looking at these cards being sold for around $2,000, closer to the MSRP mark than really any kind of used pricing, or like almost $500 more just a month or 6 weeks ago. So we're starting to see these prices actually get corrected. I thought that the neon gas problem would be more of an issue between Russia and Ukraine. Looks like that will take a while to express itself into supply chain, if it does express itself at all. I think it's mostly going to be our 5 nanometer and below new tech that actually does get hit. So ABMNS Production says, I hate these parts only listings. LOL. It's tough, man. That's the thing. And tell me you've been mining on this card without saying you've been mining on this card. You're going to list it for parts only, right? So consider that too. Depending on whether or not they've got any testing done, and if they had, multiples that were sold, it can actually be a key to finding some really good parts, really good GPUs, that if you're good at reconditioning GPUs, it's going to save you hundreds, right? So, and then you might only have to spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes reconditioning it. So it might be worth your time to save yourself $500, right? To spend 30 minutes on it. But, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You figure that out for yourself, what the balance is. But yeah, here's another one, I think, for parts right there, $842, but about $1,500. And then we scroll down here, and then what? $1,250? Huh? And they go out of their way to mention that it's non-LHR. Well, I refreshed that listing just a minute ago, and it's currently $1,200. So clearly prices are coming down pretty fast. I mean, obviously you can look this up on your own to see if this is still in stock right now. Somebody here on this live stream is going to be like, oh, F this guy, I'm going to go pick it up myself. So then it's located in Texas. So this is not going to be too far from any of our viewers from the South. Another 3090. You see that? $1,244. But that, I think that's actually an auction. Right? So, yeah. Let's see. Jesse's asking my quick thoughts on the market. Already said that a little bit earlier in the live stream, but currently taking a look at, GPUs, just GPUs, right? Got cases, heat sinks, all the other accessories. There's a bunch of crap on this listing too. But ABMNS Production says the RTX 3090 is out of my league. Sorry to hear that. Just saying, it's top of the line. So in my opinion, if you're going to upgrade the workstation, if I'm going to upgrade the workstation, I don't know why I would go with anything like less than top of the line. And then I'll just use whatever. I'll use software to overclock and undervolt as needed for whatever the other activities are that I need to use it for, right? Like there's great software for that. So I can figure out how to kind of right size the power consumption for my needs, but I'd way rather start with a much heavier horsepower card. And then Jesse says, sorry, just got here. I'll rewind after the stream. Appreciate that. Yeah, we might do another little roundup here in a second, but we're talking more about GPUs at this point in the live stream. I don't want to belabor the point or bore everybody else to tears by covering it too many times. But yeah, guys, that's the current price for those GPUs. Just wanted to show you that. It's a stark contrast, right? So you are spending about $1,500 roughly, if you look at the average listing there, to earn about $1.70 a day. It's not awesome. It's not good, right? Unless you're looking at the pure revenue, which apparently, again, some creators are just looking at revenue. It's not bad. Like the revenue doesn't look bad, but you're looking at that on Ethereum. I would not go buy GPUs just for mining right now. So Yeah, there's that. Lots of GPUs are now underwater. The 4 gig Polaris cards are still, they're still mining at profit, but you have to be really careful about how you mine with them, what you're choosing to mine with them. So, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in for that side of it. Let's take a look at quickly look at our portfolios. CoinGecko getting slammed right now. Dang. Okay. Well, let me quickly jump out of the way, log in. Apparently, it logged me out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, CoinGecko? I thought we were friends. Alrighty. And then log myself in. So we can see our portfolio. There it is. And at this point, we've got no stuff to go to our portfolio. Go to GPUs. Got a lot of other sides of the portfolio there. Flux still in the number 1 spot. Let's see how this week has been. Been most kind to Etho Protocol and Ethereum Classic, Zano, Conflux, Firo, and Grin, which I don't fully understand, but there you have it. Over 7 days, some of these have done just much better. I think in part this is blind luck. You got some of the newest developments from some of these projects are going to help give a much more intense lift to these projects than you might get in the larger tentpole projects like Ethereum or like Bitcoin. You're not going to get a developer update on Bitcoin right now that reverses the trend, right? If Taproot were to launch right now, for example, which the Bitcoin maxis we're all excited about, or even like MWeb. We're going to see when we take a look at the ASIC mineable portfolio, see what MWeb and the MWeb announcement did to Litecoin for this week. But I suspect it didn't do as much of a lift as we're seeing here, right? With like Etho Protocol and Ethereum Classic and Zano. We're seeing more of a lift here from smaller network upgrades, right? Plus, with Ethereum Classic, you get that $3 billion market cap. So to see a 10% lift is a heck of a lot more, right? That's more that's flowing into that market. You're talking tens of millions of dollars of value flowing into that coin. Overall, when you look at the fully diluted market cap and versus 10%, it's pretty amazing. Really is pretty amazing. Mimblewimble coin down, Beam down, a lot of these other coins down. Haven still heading towards $1. So biggest loser, of course, is Equilibria. It only had ground to lose. Equilibria was flying so high for so long. Then Gemlink and Ryo Currency. Ryo Currency getting dangerously close to that $1 million mark. We've already removed BitTube from the lineup. We've already removed Swap from the lineup. Will we have to remove Ryo Currency or maybe Zano next? I don't think so. Let's see if anything else is under that $1 million market cap. Nope, nothing yet. But it'd be sad to see any more of those good projects go. The poor investor is in the chat. He's here at just the right time when we talk about our hard drive mining currencies. Man, how? Have you been spying on me? What is this? All right. I'm glad you're here, though. So we're here at the hard drive mineable coin section. Storage is still our top hodl, but that's not saying much. P&L is down by 46% based on our paper trade. These are not actual holdings. Guys, I always have to say this, right? These are not actual holdings. These are paper trades that we put into a portfolio so we can track their performance over time. And now we're coming up on that year mark of this portfolio. So it's a really good time to do sort of a year in review and see, what kicked butt, what got its butt kicked. Well, that's pretty obvious looking at these numbers here. The thing that got its butt kicked hardest was Chia, 95% down. That's more than just an initial listing dump, right? That's more than just a project getting picked on or something. There's kind of the Deadwood's here too. Oh my gosh. I almost thought the Deadwood wasn't here. Jeez, why you got to do this? He sneaked up right behind. Did you see that? The Deadwood walked up right behind me and he's like, hey Seth, what are you doing? I'm live streaming, buddy. What does it look like? So, looking at this portfolio, though, Chia did got pretty beat down. Over the last year, pretty beat down. Over the last 7 days, also beat down. Yeah, that just looks bad, guys. Though we are fast approaching that $15 mark that the poor investor said that he would go all in on Chia if we did hit it. We're only $20 away. I mean, look at us. A couple months ago, if you said $15 Chia, everyone would have laughed you out of the room. Who's laughing at the poor investor now? Nobody, gosh darn it, because we're almost there. Any day now, we're going to see it, potentially. Again, hearkening back to the beginning of the stream, just because something has gone down by 95% doesn't mean you cannot slice the remaining value down by another 95%. It can happen. We literally just saw it with Terra and UST. So yeah, never say never there. Guys, Signum still holding on for dear life. Got some pretty intense swings there. Is Signum pulling a 0x Bitcoin? Oh my gosh. All right, here's some alpha for you guys. Look at this. We talked about this before with 0x Bitcoin, and you need to pay attention to this. This is alpha. If you're good at, especially at centralized exchange scripting and using automated trading tools, this might actually help you. We might even cut this into a little like TikTok video or something. I'm being dead serious right now. So you look at these high frequency swings. You got a low of, and I apologize for the color palette here. This is I did the Chrome flags hack to get all like real time or all the time dark mode. So it messes with certain graphics. So we're currently at a price of 0.0, a third of 1 cent. There you go. So 0.3 cents. Top of that swing, also 0.3 cents. We'll say 0.34 cents. This is 0.35 cents. And then back to 0.35 cents. But you do have, it looks like you got a pretty intentional swing up and down. So it looks like there's some kind of an arbitrage bot that somebody is running. It could be somebody associated with the project, right? So there could be somebody who's a developer or a high profile community member or somebody who's just saying, you know what, we have to prop up the price of this project that we love. This is, my only dream is to have built this Signum protocol for us to make this cryptocurrency something that everybody just sees. Hard drive mining is the best. But these intentional swings here are being done by some kind of automated bot. If you understand how to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, depending on what the spread fee is, depending on what your maker taker fee is on those platforms, you can profit. Maybe there might be enough meat left on the bone after you buy here and sell here that at the end of a day, how many times does that happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll call that 10 right there. 11, 12, 13, 14. And we'll say that's an average of about 12 times a day, which is why I think this is probably some kind of manipulation. This is a 24-hour chart here. So that's why I think it's some kind of manipulation. It's a little bit off, but it's roughly 12 times a day, or roughly once every 2 hours, it does this. Right? It does this little heartbeat. And if you can predict that, or if you can put in monitoring tools to give you an automated trade after a certain percentage up or down, you can profit. That's 12 times a day. You have the opportunity to maybe carve off a 5% win, right? In a swing trade, you following? 5% win times 10, minimum 10 per day. That's huge. You can start with almost nothing, right? Almost nothing. And grow it into something. You can start with something and turn it into a lot of something. You can start with a lot of something if the coin has enough real market cap or enough real volume every day, and you can turn it into like a job, right? So here, or I should say income replacement levels. Current daily trading volume is 10K. So you would look a little bit awkward if you were trying to carve off, say, like $1,000 of profit every day. But it wouldn't be too out of place for you to try to carve out between $200 and $500 of profit for yourself every single day. You following now? So about 10 times a day at about a 5% gain. And if that represented roughly $500 for you, we'll say, then you're not taking the house for so much that people start to get suspicious. And it looks like it's not showing the volume bars at the bottom. But yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's possible, guys. 0x Bitcoin was doing it before. It looks like Signum is doing it now. It could actually be a dedicated trading bot. And if you need, I'm just going to straight up give it to you guys. I'm going to give away the info here. Look up a trading bot on GitHub called Gecko Trading Bot, as in like Gordon Gecko from the movie. So look up Gecko as a trading bot. You can start there. It's open source. You can build in your own parameters. It's a very dumb trading bot. It only looks for a few key parameters that you would have to program in. But have fun, right? Like potentially, there's a bunch of swing trading alpha for somebody in the audience who's smart, enterprising, just like you. I have a good feeling about you. I know, I believe in you. I know you can do this. Whoever you are, wherever you are out there, the one that wants to do this, I believe in you. You can do this. You can become Signum rich, and you can take those gains away from the exchange and be like, look, sweetie, you wonder why I always watch these like long ass live streams with Seth just ranting for an hour on end? This is why. You told me I'd amount to nothing, but you were wrong. Seth was right. He believed in me. I'm making wife-changing money now. Is that too many jokes about changing your wife in one live stream? Probably. Am I okay? Yeah, I am. Don't worry about it too much. But I think one of you could probably do it. So, yeah, guys, that's interesting. Just to see, that's what that pattern means, by the way. To see that sustained over a week. To see those spikes sustained over a week. That's what I see when I see these 7-day charts here. Is it possible that any other of these coins is doing the same thing? Maybe, but not like Signum. Doesn't that remind you of the 0x Bitcoin chart? Because it reminds me of the 0x Bitcoin chart, and I love it. It looks great to me. But that's our hard drive mineable portfolio. Move over to CPU mining, guys. We're gonna cut the live stream and just I'm gonna try to keep it to about an hour today. I'm not gonna cut it or whatever. Just like boom, like color bars, like on old school broadcast TV. But I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit short. Promised one of the kiddos that I would walk the dog with him. You know, it's daddy child time, and we got to get that time in, right? Like end of school year is coming. Got to lock in those awesome experiences before that happens. CPU mineable coins, Epic Cash is number one. Still, our long-term HODL P&L is looking pretty good. After a year, it's winning. Raptorium, still winning too. It's fair to say that. Unfortunately, we've got that market cap way down from its all-time high. Makes me kind of bummed. I hope the development team was able to carve out some profits from that and sock away maybe a couple $1,000,000. So ABMNS Productions saying, all right, it's time to get rich, boys. I am like, no pressure, guys, but I really am counting on one of you to go and put in that elbow grease and be like, Seth, I did it. Started at the bottom. Now we're here. So do it. I believe in you. All right. That's our two winners in this side of the portfolio. WowNarrow is 84% down. Is this bottom for WowNarrow? Maybe. Could be. Yeah, it maybe could. So WowNarrow at 7 cents. I sincerely hope that this is bottom support for this market cycle. It might not be though, right? 84% down from when we started the side of the portfolio. Yenton down bad. Veriscoin down bad. Looking crazy manipulated over at Yenton, but not the same way. And you see that? Those random spikes there, guys? You can't predict that. That's some kind of a system that somebody's put in place to say, oh, please force the price up. And you can't predict that at all. The other one had that kind of high frequency swing to it that we could actually somewhat predict. That one, not so much. All right, that's our CPU mining coins in a nutshell. And Yenton is, down bad over the last 7 days, but I don't care. Yenton is kind of this coin that we might not remember a year from now. So it might be ejected from the portfolio. ASIC mineable coins, Bitcoin is in number one, but it's still 24% down from when we made this side of the portfolio. Like this is bad. And we're fast approaching the Saylor line where Michael Saylor is going to be having to deal with the fact that he way overbought. Like he bought a lot of tops in this market, and he might be regretting it as we head down closer to 20K. But we'll see. Zcash also down 12% in the last week, down 33% since we made the portfolio. Litecoin, I mean, just you see it, guys. The P&L is just, it's in stacked ranking. So the lowest on that chain, or in this side of the portfolio, is Pirate Chain. It's 84% down. It's a bummer, but if you believe in Pirate Chain, then this is just Pirate Chain on sale. If you don't, if you're like me and you're like, oh yeah, ZK Snarks, Tornado Cash exists, I don't need Pirate Chain or Zcash or any fork of Zcash like Horizon, then it doesn't look like a buying opportunity. It looks like potentially a shakeout, maybe. I don't know what it will take for Pirate Chain to recover to its former glory. It is possible, though unlikely, and I hope it's not the case. I don't mean to speak ill of the project or the community, which is awesome community in Pirate Chain. But it is possible for projects like this to simply not recover. We saw it with Haven, right? And guys, I was bullish on Haven. We saw it reach $24 and then get just slashed, just completely destroyed, decimated, all the way down to $1 again. Then work its way back up to like $4, $5, $6, and then get decimated over again. It's just these waves of market like capital flight out of these projects that sometimes they just don't recover the way we hope they would. So yeah, just saying. Pirate Chain, it might have a very, very rough road ahead of it. Ren BTC, SBTC, and TBTC are all various different, variously decentralized versions of Bitcoin, of wrapped Bitcoin. TBTC clearly experiencing a pump right now. That's looking manipulated AF, right? Currently, the total market cap in TBTC is at $26 million, and it's clearly valued at 35. So dang, if you were able to do some arbitrage there and sell some TBTC, good for you, because you made some money, clearly. ABMNS Productions is asking, do you own some ASIC hardware? Well, I can't really show you my backdrop here, but yes, I do. So, yeah, I used to just show my backdrop, right, guys? Now I use the virtual green screen. But yeah, I've got some ASIC hardware. I do. So, yeah, moving back up the list, guys. It looks, I mean, it is as bad as it looks. There's a lot that's really kind of beat down. TBTC is the only one that's winning this week, and it's only winning through manipulation. So the only winners this week, unfortunately, are cheaters. It looks like, hey, speak the devil, Bytecoin and Grin and Dash, right? You have masternodes with a whole bunch of value locked up in them as well. So I wouldn't call it cheating as much as just established value lockups. Moving from ASICs to FPGAs, though, guys. Let's see what we got here. Cadena still showing long-term hodl profits, but over 7 days getting just, kicked in the teeth. 19% down. What's the biggest loser? Telor and Digibyte. Let's go for 7 days, though. 7 days at 0x Bitcoin. Just, just grounding us with a dose of reality. Below 25 cents per coin and no more high-frequency swings. What? Those profits are gone over there. But again, do hold on to that alpha from before. Proof of stake smart chains, guys. Avalanche is in the #1 spot. Where did Terra go? We know where it went. Down the crapper. There it is. It hurts. How does it have $1 billion market cap when it's lost 100% of its value? WTF? Yeah. Gobbles, the 13th Goblin says, darn, 0x Bitcoin is not doing the thing anymore. I know, dude. The thing was so cool. I like that thing. The kids like that thing. Call up your local high school. Just tell them that thing is in the bathroom and that they have to evacuate. They'll like it too. Yeah, that thing was awesome. We loved it. So Terra not looking so hot, but somehow still magically with $1 billion market cap? How? Okay. All right. Sure, I'll play. No, I won't. Yeah, no, I know some degens that they claim they made 400% or 1,000%, or 10,000% in an afternoon, and then they didn't sell when they made their money again. Like they tried to diamond hand their way through a coin that's down here at the very bottom. Why would you do that? Just don't be dumb, guys. Gandalf Gray saying, mind your biz, thinking about starting up a Solana node. Any thoughts? Wow, if you are thinking of starting up a Solana node, good luck to you. They are very high performance and the requirements are quite high, but that could be very profitable for you. So good luck. And yeah, if Solana makes it this year, then you'll be well positioned. I think that's smart. Guys, infrastructure is always the play. That's the thing about Mind Your Biz. We talk about all the different kinds of infrastructure. Yes, GPUs are important. Yes, ASICs are important. FPGAs are important. Anything you can mine with is important. But we used to call proof of stake validators proof of stake mining. And we used to call masternodes masternode mining. There's more than one way to mine. It's all validation at the end of the day. It's all validation for a blockchain, but it's a different type of validation. So I don't think anything is wrong with that at all. Mario saying, Safecoin still mineable with GPU. Thought they went proof of stake. Saw it on your GPU coin list. Good project, though. Yeah, so it did go proof of stake because they rebased to Solana, but they were once GPU mineable, which is why I left them there, because it could be a legacy hold for some people. But let's get past that point. Biggest loser this week in proof of stake smart contracts. Well, I mean, it's actually Avalanche, even though it's the #1 spot. Good grief. And Solana. So they're on a fire sale there. Take a look at our junk drawer, guys. What do we got in the junk drawer? Everrise, still killing it. Saitama still killing it. Luffy Floki UFO Gaming, still killing it. A bunch of stuff up, including Hex. Even though most people would call 8-cent Hex kind of a fire sale, it's still up from when we made that portfolio entry a year ago. 49% up. So even losing, Hex apparently is doing okay. Everdome still up from when we made that portfolio entry, even though it's down from 4 cents a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, 4.5 cents, down by 2 cents per coin. It's still doing great. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, we don't have entries for a lot of the other coins there, but let's just take a look at our 7-day to get that in place. Hex is down pretty bad, though, this week. So over 7 days, yeah, it's rough, but long-term hodl, not bad. Fame also down big time. It was over 10 cents per coin, not so much. In fact, it was over 25 cents per coin, not so much anymore. Hedron also down 22%. If you are into the Hex ecosystem, that's going to affect you very directly. Everrise and Luffy also down bad, but still massive gains there. Looking at our IBC Gang listing, what do we got? Cadena, Secret, Cosmos Hub. Only one of those is actually doing well. It's really Secret all day, guys. They're still a good long-term hodl, and they were up this week. And they add privacy to IBC, which is sorely needed. Osmosis, Comdex, and Secret are our big winners for this week. Biggest losers are Cadena, Thorchain, and Regen over there. And then Tenset Gems, guys, I'm excited about this. This is an ecosystem that I am invested in at this point, since they've all hit DEX, right? They're all decentrally traded now. But yeah, I hope to see MetaHero. I hope to see Fame. I hope to see Everdome. I hope to see them all do really well. Apparently, Everdome is doing better this week. Tenset is back up this week, but that's kind of these weird. See these weird like ratcheted moves where it's not totally correlated to other cryptocurrencies. So I'm not totally sure how that's happening. I'm loath to call it anything like manipulation. No. And last but not least, guys, I made a stables portfolio. That's what it's come to. I actually have to show stables here. So yeah, Magic Internet Money took a hit. Frax staying pretty good. But I think it's important to take a look at market caps when we see all of these different stable coins. There are other options. You got Synthetics USD, you got the Gemini dollar, you've got Liquidity, which is a solid algorithmic protocol that has over-collateralized positions. You've got Terra USD, which is back in a really high market cap, but clearly not worth $1, right? But you can see some of these other coins that actually are, and they are options for you when you are trading on decentralized exchanges. Pax Dollar, True USD, Frax, DAI. Now you're passing that $1 billion mark for a couple of these as of True USD and all on the way up. BUSD if you're on Binance Smart Chain, and then of course USD Coin and Tether. Even though there's been that FUD with Tether, it's now with a market cap of $73 billion. There's plenty of liquidity in some of these other stable coins. So it's okay to take a look at some of these other options and then ask yourself, what fits my use case? Yeah, I think with Terra, I just listed it here to show that there is still, like, we've got this problem of crap projects existing in this ecosystem and not being delisted. Like, it's literally got the name USD in its title, and it's worth 6.5 cents. Which means that to get the $780 million worth, let's see, how many do we have? That means the supply currently is over 11 billion of the coins in order to get that amount, right? In order to get this amount of market cap, we need this many tokens. We got a problem, right? We got a huge disconnect here. It's never going to regain its peg. They would have to completely slash this to repeg to this. And then how would they do that? They'd have to rebase, right? They'd have to do a token merge, the opposite of a token split, in order to get people's holdings into the right amount. So yeah, I see we got some serious problems there though. Gandalf Gray asks, what do you think of Pax Gold? Can it be likened to a stablecoin? I like that idea. I like the idea of pegging a coin to the market value of a commodity or to the market value of some sorts of goods or even services, right? Like if we had a so-called stablecoin that was pegged to the value of the national average for a gallon of gas, we'd all be millionaires, right? Like if we bought back when the orange man was POTUS, we held until now, we would be doing quite well, right? We'd be doing 300, 400% up, more, right? Like we'd be doing really well if we had a coin that was worth the average value of a gallon of gas. Same with just average for a barrel of crude oil. Same with average for a gallon of milk, or whatever. Any number of things that we could peg it to. What's difficult, though, is trying to figure out the consumer price index and get the correct feeds for those. It's the same Oracle problem that we always have. It's not something we can't solve. But then it begs the question, how do we put enough into this that we trust that it is still worth that peg? Is it asset backed? Is it collateralized? Does it use some special algorithm? So we've got a bit of a problem there. With Pax Gold, you have, you got this group that's saying, all right, we just, and Mario says Petro didn't work that well pegged to oil. You're right. Yeah, it didn't work that well. Then again, I mean, consider the source. The Petro was also run by a crook, by a political crook. So hard to trust anything that guy touches, right, or says. Whereas with Pax Gold, you got this group saying, yeah, look, we hired whoever, Brinks or somebody else, to come in and do an independent audit of our holdings of gold. It's in a safe. It's in a vault. We can prove to you that we own this much gold. Here are the audits. We can, they're published every month. The audit that we then open to everybody else. And it's not like, say, Tether or like Circle with USDC, where they just claim like, oh yeah, we've got all these stable coins backed. It's mostly commercial paper, but you can trust us. It's backed. What's the commercial paper? It's just debt. Is that debt worth the same amount every month? We don't know. They don't give us that level of transparency. So actually, a gold-backed so-called stablecoin wouldn't be the worst thing. Now, could we call it a $1 stablecoin? No. But we wouldn't be trying to get it to peg to $1. We'd just be saying like, all right, well, whatever this unit of, fractional bar of gold is, or fractional unit of gold, 1 troy ounce of gold, or whatever it is, or half a troy ounce of gold, or a tenth of a troy ounce of gold, whatever it is, we'd have to just say that's the unit of account for the backing. And so that token always maintains that value. It's not rocket science, right? We can do that. Do I think it's better than cryptocurrencies? Do I think it's better than using fiat as a standard there? I don't know. I'm not convinced, because the buying power becomes very uncertain there. And gold has not had it hasn't had a fantastic decade either, right? So there are some problems there. But as a concept, right? Even if it were like whatever, wooden nickel coin, guys, I could laser cut a bunch of these. They were fun to make, right? Like they were fun to design and make. I did this from scratch. But I could make a bunch of like Bitcoin laser wooden nickels, and we could give these a market value, right? I could sell them on the Mind Your Biz home site or something. I'd considered it once. And then whatever that market value is, just like, okay, cool. Well, now we can tokenize it. It's easy, right? Like at that point to then tokenize it once we have established a market value for whatever that thing is, and then we have some kind of an oracle to track the price of that over time. So yeah, it's a cool idea. It's a very cool idea. I like the basic idea of Pax Gold. I really do. And you guys got me thinking about it the other day, the other live stream. I think it might have been you that they mentioned a different potential backing for a cryptocurrency that has some kind of a high utility backing. And I've actually gone out of my way, guys. I've gone out of my way to contact some people and talk to them, and somebody came back to me with a fully written white paper saying like, oh yeah, we were already thinking about that. So there are a lot of people considering various different types of backing for various different types of coins. I mean, there's so many ways to create value in this space, but in particular with these stable coins, guys, I actually decided to make this just so we saw. These are some coins that I would actually consider. Terra USD, no. It's basically just here to serve as a warning to us of what not to do and what not to touch. And USDD, oh man, if it's already, let's see if it's already here. It would have to be, right? USDD, you in? Oh, it's in. Good grief. Why? Oh boy. Yeah, USDD, apparently already at $500 million. So yeah. Yeah, USDD is there. I'm worried about them, but it's here. It's here. We're going to track this, guys. We do have to pay attention to whether or not a dollar is worth a dollar, because once we lose that buying power of a stablecoin, we lose that buying power of the cryptocurrencies that are denominated in that stablecoin. So we got issues there too. Guys, that's our show for today. I appreciate you being here live with me. Thank you so much for sharing the link. Thank you so much for being supportive I got to spend this time with my kiddo. But thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for choosing me to be along this journey with you. It really does mean a lot, guys, the support over the years. Please remember, you can see it in the description of this video, that if you have the opportunity to be in Austin, Texas, early June, you can get 30% off of your DCentral tickets, and you can hang with me. I'll be there all week, guys. I'll be there all week. I don't normally like docs, like for OPSEC purposes, but like... we're going to be in Texas. You are not going to want to try to catch me unawares because, you know, when in Texas, you do what the Texans do. So we are just going to have fun, though, right? If you come with a friendly attitude, we will have fun. So consider going to DCentral. Consider going to Consensus. I will be on several stages and panels there talking about crypto, interviewing some projects that you may know or that you may want to get to know. So appreciate you coming out to live events, too, because that's where, guys, that's where we create the memories. I'm going to go spend some time with my kiddo. Appreciate you being here to the end. Appreciate you hitting that thumbs up, smash and subscribe if you're just lurking, and then clicking the bell icon so you're notified when new videos come out. You're the reason to make this media. Love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Remember to check out mineyour.biz, where you can sign up for Mine Your Biz Insiders, our occasional newsletter where we don't spam you, but we do send out occasional important information, including flash sales and important deals on privacy-preserving technology. This is one of the ways that we can talk to you without censorship and without the oversight of third-party media platforms. You can also check out the new Mine Your Biz phone, as well as merch, or sign up to become an affiliate for anything sold directly on the mineyour.biz website. You can earn a percentage of anything that we sell. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.